Alright, should be good to go. This is gonna be Ora Elektro against Squad, which happened a few days ago. However, it was not on stream, so it wasn't casted on TFTV, and I have held on to watching this until now. I decided between doing this demo cast and analyzing, but I figured it might be more interesting if I just cast this. The way I cast anyway is gonna worth a lot of that regardless, so bit of both, I suppose. And we're gonna see how things develop here, as we're just gonna have to wait a second to get players on the server. Almost like it's live, but with less waiting. So we can just speed things up. And that's kinda nice. If there's ever any long pauses here as well, we can just skip over that. I'm not gonna skip over scale mates. I do actually want to see how the game went down and not miss anything. That might or might not be relevant in the long run. So we'll see how things go slowly. People are connecting you. But this was offer. Have the game in a second. Yeah, it goes. Should be interesting. Obviously, Aura coming into this as a much more experienced team. Granted, with definitely different roster. Poison new addition. As well as Ihor running them on Scout as well. Interesting, because Ihor and Never are both much more flank scouts. So seeing how they work that out between each other and for themselves, this is going to be interesting to look at. On the other side, goonsquad. Obviously, coming in as the V underdogs for the entirety of the season, I want to say. Not sure anybody's surprised they even signed up for the qualifier in the first place, but they made it through. Or came on into squad in a not hugely dominating fashion, but still convincing to the point where they very well deserved that win. Would have been interesting to see how that would have squared up against Chillwagon, but obviously that's hypothetical, since that team just did itself off of existence when they lost once. So here we are. Everybody on the server, and we are ready to go. No more time wasting. That's just nice. Alright, no more speed up. The game's over as well. Aura in red, which got in blue. Van will be the first map, Gully second, that's week 1 on TF2L this season. See how things go. Rolling out quite a bit faster as everybody else, but they're collectively slow. That could be an interesting choice to make as Detoad goes low as well. Everybody just walking in through garage, trying to go aggressive. Detoad a bit aggressive alone though, as the bomb comes in from left by Nakari. Getting a decent bit of damage, but taking so much from saves as Aura is just holding back, trying to play safe from this sort of aggression coming out of goonsquad. And it works for the most part. They didn't overextend at all into this aggression here. So passive bit for Aura, but it works out just fine. Eames on the aggression forward. Wants to capitalize off of the double pick here, and in general, two-player ad, one player ad, but 2 down is really nice. Carbo taking a lot of damage there. Needs to be careful not to overextend for that one, but he will. No. Scout way too deep in, Never goes down, didn't get a force out, and Demo's having to use himself. Sure, they get the counter force out of Roche, but it doesn't really favor them too much. As they force back quickly as well. Poison getting a kill on the DQZ, really weak in lunchbox, but no one there to chase him. Flanks down. Nothing Goonsquad can do about this. And with Nakari going down on top of that, suddenly they're 2 down in post over. That should have been just a reset button for them. So Goonsquad miscalculating on the Uber. Or inviting themselves into last off of no soldiers to deny much of the high ground here. So Poison just up top, not any point pressure until late, but they have sticks on the point. They have Azunis go for the medic as well in the meantime, just pickaxes them down. With the scouts and the demo bait the point, and there was just not enough on the field to really block that at all. So well played by Aura. somehow got these kills post-Uber. People just overextending, I think, was more so the issue than anything. Well played by Ora on second. On last tower, really well done. Just capitalize over what they had. Use the fact that they can take the space easily and take the hang ground for free. While baiting the point. Simple stuff. Works just fine. This time, different approach for goonsquad, not trying to do anything fancy in garage. Detour rolling out normal. Eames up top again. Also got some early damage onto the scouts. Again, it's classic Granary style. Starts oftentimes a bit slow for people to realize what they want to approach with poison wrapping all the way with the attempt behind. It's mostly the blue side here taking the better, and for now, getting the demo with their bombs behind. That opens up a lot more opportunities, but Zunis is still here to make some plays, or tries at least, but they already abandoned a lot of space of the fact that Demos, or not Demos, Eames is down here. These names are confusing. But yeah, without the demo on front lines, classic pick on Grand Mid. That opens up a lot more opportunities to play from. Demo pick on this map on mid is really important. Nicely done by goonsquad. Not a huge mid window. It is obviously a big improvement from just leaving straight up and having to leave early. But it does not really enable them to do much into second just yet. They will have to do some more work for this. Question is what that will entail for them. Because it's Grand second, it's kind of difficult. Nevo immediately with attempt to feed, has beam on him. Tries to just play aggressive for the rest of his team. Maybe follow up on, doesn't really work. They were aggressive with that collectively, fairly at least. Nevo the only one really in. So that was their risk assessment. Losing a scout here sketchy though, and goonsquad wants to show us why, but he's still not getting quite through. Detoured in the meantime, getting taken down by Zunis and Eames. That's a huge loss right now. 2 down, both explosive classes, detoured, especially the demo man, lacking on the field right now. Hurts quite a bit. Ora wants to take space with this. Needs to figure out how exactly though, and from Garage it is just spamming damage, force a decision out of goonsquad, which is forcing the Uber here. Demos with the better one. Eames wants to go deep, can't really chase anyone there. Scouts with a slightly better attempt on that one. Yeehor gets a kill onto the medic. Loses Zunis, get free on top of that though. Nice chase by Ora. Just forcing that Uber out of goonsquad made all the difference to have the better one and be able to chase all the way across mid. Not let much escape at least not the things that you don't want to have to escape. goonsquad down some significant numbers after that. Have enough time to get the spawns on the field. Forward spawn as well, especially curry sniping is something to watch out for. Nevo as well, expecting a stalemate. It's not a huge ad. Let's see if they play safe around the sniper. For the moment, no. Cabo immediately cleans up off the body shot. Nevo with the response though. Keeps it even. And the stalemate it is not the best point to have a sniper, so they will have to do some work here to get onto the point to have the much better sightline into last instead of over the point. But it doesn't look like goonsquad is too keen to actually fight this. It was even DQZ actually overextending as well on top of that. Free pick for the taking. Now it's all on the sniper here to deliver the goods. Or is it? Actually, it isn't. They just pop in immediately, force the Uber. Eames gets the gun, overextend for it severely though, and Demos has no chance to save his demo there. Interesting. Especially off the back that it was even Uber on the sniper to just exchange like that. I can understand trying to go for the gun and then maybe abuse the sniper for the post-Uber. Just have this annoying huge sightline in your favor, but obviously didn't play safe around that on the Uber. So it didn't work out at all. However, with the sniper still on board, the annoying sightline just moves inside of second instead. Defensive instead of offensive now. Just makes it hard for anyone on goonsquad to really approach this safely, that is. And we'll keep the stalemate intact, even Uber's obviously with Nomadic dying after the exchange. Just a matter of time before they arrive on even playing field again. Off class coming out, that's Adgar on the spy. Trying to make some sort of play for his team. Needs to find anyone for, for that first though. Everybody rotated up top with Nevo. Obviously being this playmaker. Demo's fairly safe there. Eames is body blocking for the most part, but doesn't that mean that they have the reaction time? I was about to say Demos is gonna be safe there and just react in time, because obviously Eames is gonna bite the dust either way if he doesn't see that coming, but never mind. Just gets the easy double stab. Or with a severe lack of reaction time. However, backup coming in. That's not Yeehor, that's Nevo actually. And or was it Eames? No, that was Finn. I'm confused. He slipped through though, and that's all what matters. It was a soldier, it must have been the soonest then with the paint train. Interesting. Completely out of the left field. But that's just what happens when you're not safe out of last. They immediately wanted to capitalize and just left one thing open. Suddenly it's 2-hour Aura and goonsquad. Not with too much of a showing of dominance here. Just yet. However, it's still plenty of time left. They can make this all the way back if they just have some strong answers. For the moment, it's Azunis committing in deep. Throwing in some damage. No one really staying in though. Poison not really getting the opening either. Neither of these soldiers getting what they wanted, but they're taking space with it, at least a little bit. They're taking so much damage down, or not nice for anyone here involved, and Vito is just falling back with the rest of his team. Gets all of these kills for so little effort. And you could see that coming from a mile away, I think. Aura just had these soldiers fly by, not really getting anything. Curry getting killed on the escape by demos. It has a scout chasing, not looking too good. Cabo takes way too much damage. Actually forces Jorge as well, because he didn't want to be alone this far committed. Understandable that he had to use there once it was this bad, but it shouldn't have come to that. They're over chasing for that one severely, and it cost them a lot. But yeah, what I wanted to say on mid is just Aura took quite a lot of offensive presence, but the soldiers didn't do anything for that. They didn't deal much damage. One died as well. So they had nothing to warrant going this aggressive, and they just took a million damage for it. However, now they have a chance to come back. Eames getting flashed in. Not flashed all the way through though, gets dropped from this Uber, it goes down, deals a bit of damage though, and they need some follow-up there. Getting 2 in total helps quite a bit, but I wonder if that's good enough for them to get more than mid, let alone keeping it. Being as Jorge does have this hefty 50% advantage. Sure, they're 2 down, but Aura would need a quick answer to really do something off of this. And not seeing a force here is actually really detrimental. You're not going to get a better opportunity than having them sit there with 2 down anytime soon. Sure, you can just hope that they don't check corners again on mid, but still easier with 2 down. Aura letting that chance slip away, wanting to just delay things on mid. So they need to do that just well. Never going down doesn't help the situation much at all though. And Aura immediately on the back foot. Did not cost them being advantage pushed into at least, but they do still lose mid. So we're back into blue. Control on the midpoint. Got a little bit of map control here. Never hover on Sniper yet again. Aura weirdly playing around him so far, but we'll see how that works out in the long run here. As for now, he's just sinking back in the forward spawn, hoping things come his way instead of making something happen. Oh, the carry takes so much spam damage! Poison Eve just completely destroyed the man. Nowhere for him to escape, falls to his death. Some space is being taken, that's poison forward. Trying to make some sort of opening happening. Scouts deny him a lot. He does deal a lot of damage to them, which might just make things a little bit easier to get in deep, but everybody falls bad with Jorge. That makes the approach so much harder. Still tries to brute force his way through. Doesn't really happen. Goes down just as much. And the response sniper by Nakari as well now. Or is Nevo? Is he still? No, Nevo actually committed a little bit further forward. Or at least out of the safety of the forward spawn. Nakari with the response sniper, not having the better end of that one. Sure, he got a kill before on sniper, but every single time he does show his face to Nevo, it's just quick pickings for the Frenchman. Does need a little bit more for the team to really play up though. One down is nice, it's the soldier as well that spam down. To really make a play, you want the demo or at least a scout to have easier time jumping in for one of your soldiers sacking. Just a matter of how you play with it. Really, and there we go, Never with another one. Detour down, that's a big one. That one down, no stakes, no... well, less, while big margin spam. Nakari still on sniper, trying to take the fight, has been called, Never well aware. Atka getting a kill to poison though, so sack not happening. Sniper fight 3 times in a row going in Nevo's favor. Kari being taken down every single time he tries. That one, Nevo taking some chances. He goes really aggressive, doesn't hit the shot he needs to. Isn't alone though. Cabo doesn't quite get the kill. DQZ has to come and do the rest for the team. Almost getting demos as well off the back of that spam aggressively into Gauchi, and they want some more of this. They know they're weak, they know they're lacking players. That is Just nice recognition by goonsquad. However, Ora retaliating immediately, want to pop through, lose poison though, doesn't get flashed through by demos, and they don't have anything for the force here. Suddenly this is looking mighty dire for Ora. Yeehaw, Eames getting walked over. Sniper can't really do much unless you hit an insane shot, but as much as he went well, that isn't quite happening here, and quick conversion by the rest of the team is trying to make the most of it for goonsquad, and for the moment that is just happening. 2-1, goonsquad keeping it close. Or a bit too keen with the sniper there, Neville getting a bit too ambitious after just dominating the sniper 1v1. The rest of the team sure gave him that opening to at least get one shot in, but the moment that didn't happen, they needed to be well out of there well earlier, and that didn't quite happen in time. They took so much damage. Right decision to just play off that damage and the one pick they had there for goonsquad. Get them one on the board. Keeps it close as we approach halftime slowly. It's still a lead for Ora, nonetheless. Mid fights have been more in Ora's favor, however not hugely so, as the soldiers again having a tough time really finding something to jump on. Azul is going weak, Poison not even approaching just yet. Just trying to find something. Yeehaw winning 1v1s though against Akari going in. There we go, jump in behind, and everybody tries to fall back to deal with it, but the aggression forward comes in. Eames and the scout just walk forward. Completely take them apart. There we go, took them a while to find a good opening. But Azulis made it happen, just jumping choke behind. Dragged everybody, aggression forward with the rest of the combo. Biggest mid win we had so far, I believe, and now just a matter of if Ora can execute off of this, because this is the kind of opportunities you don't want to waste. But especially on Grand, it's so easy to do so, and they need one strong answer here to have a 2-round lead back. Second being capped, as soon as waiting for forwards will spawn, presumably heavy Angie on the field for the defense. You have the time to put up some sort of defense. Level 2 is fine. That's 200 or so, I think. HP actually 180, I think. HP on the board as well as a heavy 300 more. Plus minus buff, depending on how the clear is. Well, catches 2, loses Zunis on the way, Stick still on the point, get cleared eventually. Eames denying right side spawn just fine. People get through that though. Have the time to block the point, but don't win these fights here. Jorge gets a sword. That's potentially big play, but no, it's not enough. He was all alone at that point already. People got through the spawn camp at least, but they had to commit for the point at that point, and that's just easy damage for Ora. So back on a 3-1. Back to this 2-0 lead, I should say. I appreciate the spy checking at the beginning of the round as well. Just to make sure. You never know if somebody's just pulling out. Sniper much less on this mid. And probably also less so with this team, but you never know. More so crits could just randomly happen. Nice to be aware of it. He's taking so much damage. He's not having the right target though. Wants to jump. Lunch, well not lunch boat, the top area, but it still matters in the end. Damage gets followed up on. With Nakari's bomb and Carbo getting more damage as well. Poison deep gets the kill onto the medic. That makes up for not everything, but a lot of it. Going really badly here. And somehow, what looked like it's gonna be just bombs onto Eames left him completely fine. He survives. That's the only one, surprisingly, for Ora. But more so interestingly enough, they didn't go for him at all, despite him being so weak of scout damage. They just wanted to jump catwalk, seeing where people came from. And it turned out to be more or less the right choice. Sure, they lost their medic, but that had little to do with the fact that the soldiers had nice recognition on their bombs. You know what they wanted to bomb? So just nicely called people with catwalk. So much damage off of that. Not enough to keep everybody suppressed. Not have pressure on Hawker, which is obviously the big downside here. And it was quite a delayed death as well. Demos with some significant advantage, if they are aware. The question is if they are, and for the moment they're taking some space here. They seem to want to make something happen with this. Hop through early, people get juggled through by stakes, people hiding behind them as well. Chase in like before. Ihor seems with the Iwa only catching 1, 2, 3 players in total. Never mind, players behind are getting spotted now as well. The only one left here is Nakari, left on mid. Somehow escapes, but the interesting pincer maneuver did not go through. Flank 2 aware for that one on Aura. Didn't have my view on that, but it is what it is. Would have been an interesting play, but it requires to just get past the flanker. Unscathed past the combo as well, which at least one of those happened, but clearly not the other one. Ooh, Nevo faded into 2v1, and they still have this ad here, so getting somebody behind for some sneaky play would be nice. Not being the case though. Them to being one down here. Let's see what they can do with this on goonsquad though. Approaching with the full Uber. Ora slowly approaching theirs, but not quite the case, so just a matter of playing fast off this, but they're not covering entrances as soon as it gets the kill. That is... Oh, did I say kill? I meant force even. Big difference actually. Either way, yeah, they just wanted to play fast off this, but they did not check hiding players. As soon as gets a free force off of that, more or less. Trading with Adgar as well makes it all the more even in terms of players, which helps quite a bit, taking this in without having to use necessarily people hiding down Akari, getting spotted. Ooh, interesting play there, but body blocked by Eames. He will bite the dust for that. But he took the rocket for demos, which is always really nice to see. Interesting jump by Akari as well. Not actually just jumping down onto the medic, but dropping down and jumping forward over the crate instead. Which is just a nice little mix-up, not a huge thing, but it might just matter for people expecting you to jump differently. Yeah, we're picking up the rifle again, expecting the stalemate long ahead of time. Would always come to fruition. However, as soon as getting back to 2v1 now. Akari picking that one up quickly. Adgar again on the spy. Is he actually committed to this? Yes, he is, but he also got spotted immediately. This guy is just a sniper, but they knew. That's not Neville. Getting one on the board. Akari just sacking, immediately wants to take advantage of everybody not watching the doors. Doesn't quite work out as well as he hoped for. Somebody hiding in drop down there. EQZ revealing himself early though. Not quite going through. Poison in deep. Tries to hope for sack himself over the people down, but not quite going through. Bravo denies that. Ora still tries to take space with this, but they are so weak as soon as going down here on top of that. Not really low for much more. They fall back really slowly. And with Cabo still wreaking havoc. They even get forced off the top of that. This is looking so dire. Damos took a lot of damage, so I can't blame him too much. But this force could be really bad. Goonsquad already getting mid for free here, and they clearly will still have enough advantage to do something into yard / second. Depending on how this goes. There was somebody hiding, I just missed that. Azun is trying to get behind Poison actually as well. Getting the kill onto Jorge. I don't even know where that happened, but Azun is behind. Is causing distraction enough for it to explain stuff. I have no idea where Poison came from, but quick reaction out of that by goonsquad, just everybody pushing W. This is a dire situation, we need to make something happen, preferably onto the medic. So they're just all hacking in. Eames takes a bunch of damage. Yeehaw actually the one taking the bullet though. Goes down. And suddenly this is looking a lot better for Ora. Just falling back early knowing that this sort of sack is gonna happen. So they did what needed to be done, fall back far enough to play safe from these sort of sacks. Suddenly they have disadvantage now. Poison and Azun did a nice job getting that one on the board for them. Just a matter of actually capitalizing off of this. See what they can do. Detold gets the kill onto Eames. That hurt a lot. So much less damage to chase with, but they're so committed to this. I'm not sure what they were thinking. Staying this far close to choke without actually going through it. You have the arguably very risky option of just trying to rotate behind in that position, but they weren't really going for that. They just kind of hoped to not get caught there, but the demo pick was clearly not enough. They just overcommitted severely off of the Uber set, and Ora just reaped the rewards. Pretty much takes out everything that was in front of them. Not a huge add-off of this, but it is what it is. And what it is just the free space on yard for the taking, still enough add to be troublesome for goonsquad to deal with. And surely something's gonna happen with this ad into second, regardless of how close this is. It is only 20. I'd be surprised if they didn't put on some sort of pressure with this. goonsquad still holding fairly aggressive here for what we have. Well, not really. The flank more so than anything. But eventually they realize second is being capped slowly. goonsquad arrives at down Uber now though, and Ora with the Epsilon rotate behind play. However, they're much too slow to actually catch them without Uber, so counter Uber initiated. New combo moving forward with this detour Roche, taking space forward, getting poison as well, trying to some distraction work in the backlines. Doesn't quite happen for them. So much damage for goonsquad actually, but they're not getting any cleanup of it. Everybody falls back and force people to approach through a choke point, and the spam is just too much. Akari with a well-timed bomb gets the devil's pick they were looking for, but oh, it's 4 against 2 on the point. Sure, they have heals, but they're being severely outnumbered. Atka needs to waste some time for spawns, and there we go, one is up on the field. Ora missing some shots, not really getting the kills here they need. Eventually Jorge goes down, that's a silver lining. That's a long respawn. But they just about get it. Detour had the sticks ready, but they did that in time. Sure, Never was still alive after that, but that was close on the timing there. Detour got the kill to Zunis, but didn't quite prevent the cap, so just a second too late. Messy fight for Ora there. That could have been done a lot more elegantly, a lot more quickly as well, I want to say. But they did win the DM fight. That's what matters. 4-1 is a much stronger lead than we had at any point so far. 3 rounds. Biggest lead so far in the game. Early bombs again by everybody in goonsquad, trying to just take early left side pressure onto the blue crate. Not quite working yet, taking a lot of damage, especially Detold here. Still have Nakari behind in the backlines, but Aura's just forcing them back quite aggressively. Nakari bomb coming in late onto the medic. Trades with poison, not what he was looking for. 3 for 2. Ora taking a mid win here. At this point, clearly mid statistic in their favor. Jorge did stay alive though, that's the silver lining. You don't have much time, and especially on a map like Granary, stalemates can be so much worse to have to contest with than on most other maps, I want to say. With the general structure of the map. Making it really hard for you to approach here as the, in this case, defending blue team. If you have to transition into being the aggressive team. Not easy, and Ora can take all the time in the world to formulate something. Let's see what it is. For the moment, it's just Nakari going aggressive alone. Taking deeper in, gets the force out. Slightly better trade for Ora, but by barely anything at all. Solo Uber on both sides here. That was popping quite early. Not taking any risks, but also obviously not getting any rewards out of that either. Just playing it safe, even exchange, nothing really happens. And just resetting to even, which yet again is hugely in favor for Ora. Not for goonsquad. Time wasting is just what Ora can do safely, and but it looks as if so far are doing efficiently. In exchange, just wasting so much time to get Ubers on board, and there was clearly no plan for goonsquad to act off it, post Uber in any way. Which is by all means risky as hell, but at this point maybe just necessary. At some point you have to cut your losses and see what you can do in that situation. But they still want to play it safe with the Uber. Question is if it's worth it in the end. The movement's happening over the flank. Getting the Uber out first of the demos, but they do lose Nakari in the meantime. Still 30%, 60% better Uber even by goonsquad here. Much better looking for them so far, but they're getting picked apart. 2 soldiers down, only getting Eves in reward. Poison overextending on the flank a bit. They're getting called out alone. But overall, it's just, again, this messy fight here post-Uber that's, despite the much better Uber, not really working for goonsquad. Still approaching post-Uber, double scout on both sides, just trying to win the straight-up DM fight. With big trades all over the place, everybody hitting Source. I'm not sure what's happening. But the scouts at least clean up the damages on both medics. And it's actually just the soldiers alive at that point. Really messy fight, and it really goes to show what kind of situation we're approaching in this game, which is goonsquad being hard-pressed to capitalize off of anything they can find. And this fight still technically going, they need to get out of here. The messier these fights get, the longer they take. Even if sometimes you get out victorious of it, and by the looks of it, they kinda did. Yard is wide open for the moment. Tank is trying to take some space. Combo a bit slow here, but they want to approach Yard. Not a big win. Otka goes down early, just big fight onto left side Yard. Lots of damage onto Ora early, nice damage there. Jorge is spawning on crits, taking a bunch, but Poison not successful with his sack. goonsquad wants to take this, they have so little time though. With 2 down right now, it's not looking good for them. See if they can make this happen. The crits is their win condition right now. This one needs to be good, but there comes a bomb from behind. Doesn't matter, not really quite yet. Gets the knight quite early. However, it forces the crits out a bit early as well, and itself, it doesn't do much, but everything surrounding it gets the kills anyway. Everybody just hits the panic button on Ora, but none of them catch Jorge. Demos alone, but Nakari beefs his shots. Had so much time before the spawns came in. And this is slowly reaching really, really impossible territory for goonsquad. Or popping early here, not taking any chances, just want the kills on the board. Jorge getting caught with that is all that really matters here. Obviously, you want some Monokari is surely caught as well. Forward spawn with DQZ and Cabo behind caught. A little bit off guard, maybe not enough, maybe just enough for DQZ to get some kills. D-Dot in deep as well, just sacking, taking the chances, but at this point with everybody down just for the 2 kills onto the demo and the medic, it's not looking too good for goonsquad here. 2 minutes and a half, 3 rounds differential. Again, I'm not good at on the fly thinking what is the exact math for impossibility in terms of round making. But surely we have approached that territory at this point. Timer's ticking down. Demo's actually picked up crits as well, just for good measure. At this point they have little to nothing to lose. They just want to see if they can make this work. Clicker sniping as well. Will be the crit. So far no one never gets dropped from this. People close. There we go. Eames the one getting it. Pipe and Sticky picking up too quickly. Flank comes in from the other side. Nowhere to run for anyone. Jorge eventually gunned down as well. Surprise crits in a position where they really didn't need to put on pressure anymore, but why not? They were in a position for it. And there we go. Ora Elektro 5-1 up. Minute and a half is enough for like fairly fast round. So while the score is settled in terms of who's winning or not, the score is technically not settled for the final scoreline. This could by all means still go Mercenary or goonsquad could still get one on the board. Won't matter in the long run, but we'll see if anyone's really keen here to make something happen on it. Get some momentum going into the second map. For the moment it's just Ora playing aggressive, eating themselves, and that's always a good sign. Playing really aggressive into that garage mid, and it's clearly showing rewards. goonsquad's gonna be upset about this one. They had a really strong first half or so, having a fairly close game at the beginning, but Ora slowly but surely just crystallized some saves. That's that bit better on Granary here. Coming out on top. 5-1, if not 6-1 here. They have a crits. Could by all means still have huge consequences. This is sniper and spawn though, so this could also end really bad. Or everybody can just stay in spawn and not die at all to this. So there we go, it's a big beef on the probably final loop of the game. Not really catching anything. Point is being played so late as well. They had so much time to actually play that as well. Nothing really happening. It does matter. But it also does just about work out. So somehow it still ends 6-1. goonsquad just kind of admitting defeat at that point already. That it makes much of a difference. And that is map 1. Let me load up map 2, and in the meantime I can also show logs just for like a hot second. Yeah, this is to correct logs. Spoil anything? Haven't watched the game? Logs. Go. Just really quickly flying over it. Not gonna be on this for too long. Kari actually dealing a lot of damage. A decent amount of bombs. Well, but it also shows he died a lot. Same with DQZ. Had to be the playmaker, so if you're behind like that, soldiers just become tools at some point. So that is understandable. Teams and Azun is obviously top damaging on their respective team. Almost damage taken to come to heal. 60 on Tito, 250 on E. On the pockets. Yeah, just about. Kari taking only 70% heals, but poison not a whole lot more. I mean, kind of. Percentage-wise not really, but in total heals, sure. Yeah, otherwise, actually Cabo tanking a lot. Granted, probably a bit of building there, but same can be said about Yeehaw. But that's still a lot of heals dedicated to your scout. He did still bring some numbers to the table, so it's not like it was completely wasted. Just in terms of damage taken, like a bit of a waste. Because he didn't tank as much. And it's scout, so you're obviously a lot more squishy anyway, but a little bit weird. Death-wise, Roch obviously had a worse game. I'd say like you can like take -2 for him. Like a little bit of dead time at the end, that didn't really matter, but still it's like twice the difference here at that point still. Or giving him a much harder time. There were a lot of situations where Demos clearly could have died, but there was just game-wise some beef happening on goonsquad and the kills just didn't come through. And it would have made a decent difference. There was at least one mid-fight where, like, one of the blue mid-fights was Ora losing, but being able to re-initiate with their medic staying alive afterwards, where Jorge died. So that's like another half mid-fight win for them. Well, otherwise, interesting in mat statistics, not really, I think. One near full charge is obviously unfortunate. Otherwise, fairly close in most regards. 2 drops to 1. If you look at that way, Demos has a much worse drop rate in terms of how many Ubers he had. And how much he died. Two major advantages still on both sides is actually interesting. Because it wasn't that slow a game. Anyway. Shoulder Bing. Shoulder Gully Wash's map too, I believe. So this should be this right here. Loads up. And since this isn't real time, we can skip all this. Isn't that just nice technology? Let me just... Oh, wait. For the first map. 1. 6. 6, that would be interesting. Alright, there we go. This should be all fine now. goonsquad still in blue, Aura still on red. Galiosh map 2. Decent showing by Aura by all means. Not stronger start for goonsquad than later half, I have to believe. Nonetheless, here we go. Galiosh map 2, Poison jumping in high, just looking for something to jump, not really finding anything. Settling with his own side, playing it slow for the moment. Zoon is waiting in big doors while BQC waits under the point, looking both of them for some sort of opportunity to jump on Nakari, not really helping him out, just rotates back to get the Eames kill. That's a big one, but they lost 2 for that as well and being forced back quite early with that as well. Next one's coming out of Aura for that one. 2 people having to team up to get the demo there, still being stuck in the low zone afterwards doesn't help the situation much positioning wise. Adgar on an adventure here. Jorge comes actually to help out with Carbo as well. Somehow Azunis takes just about no damage. A little bit surprising, and they did take high ground here as well with their scout, so it makes it a lot harder to approach for goonsquad. They're still trying though. They don't want to let this second point go. And they did just about break through for the moment. No explosive classes really on the field for Aura to deny them coming in. So nice recognition there to try to fight this. However, with Adgar overextended, Poison getting that one quickly. Nakari on the counter jump, not hitting anything either. Eventually they're overstaying their welcome and they must realize falling back. Or staying in on second successfully and having some picks into last as well. 3 for that matter, that's quite a bit. Poison in deep, not quite hitting the shots. Yeehall really late on the attempt in, but with some spam flies serving. Jorge feels unfortunately forced to use. However, with demos being this close with Yeehall as well, they pop as well, and that probably was the much worse mistake here. Barely any pressure onto them, just needed to fall back quicker, and just like that, a good opportunity on the force wasted quickly. Stays fairly even. Neville down is a pick. Not much. Adgar tries to capitalize. Sees the medic, doesn't get through though. Taken down quickly. Still early in the game though, so by all means Aura can redeem themselves. Still being on last as well. Gives them a lot of time to find more opportunities like this. And it being Gali last does open up a lot of different things you can do. A lot of different sorts of pressure you can pull on the same time, and somebody on the point is just some of that right away. Yeehall trying to get somewhere with that. Actually, never mind. Bombs coming in at the same time. Izun is jumping all the way deep, and some follow-up spam makes Jorge really unfortunately, really uncomfortable, I want to say even. Everybody taking a lot of damage. Nevo's still stuck under the point as well. Nor really to run. But at least he has this pack every 10 seconds. Doesn't matter. Detoad gets the kill. 2 down. Still not too bad. Double sags on Gully last. Not too uncommon. So losing 2 here, even if it's kind of unwanted. Not too big a deal as long as you know what they're doing, and by the looks of it, they just comfortably hold back, and with how long the chase took onto Never, Squad not too happy to try to active this either, so Ora got the force they wanted. Need to waste a lot of time though with the late death onto Never to wait for him be up on the field, and at this point Rojo is 70, so this needs to be a good push. At this point, preferably even catch the medic. Here comes in, Akari getting caught forward. The gun down early helps quite a bit as well. People in spawn need to be shut down. Adgar on heavy taking a lot of damage, being healed quite a bit as well. Doesn't matter though, eventually he can't tank the damage. Detoad on the point can't put on enough resistance as well. Ora going up 1-0. A bit messy with their plays into last to make the advantages happen, but once they had it here, looked fairly clean, just forced people into spawn, denied them quite well, and just took care of the demo slowly but surely. Just enough to it worked successfully. 1 up, 4 minutes into the game. Another mid-fight. EQZ just waiting again. Around there, Nakari team up with this team, waiting for that opportunity up front. EQZ over spotted early by Poison, super weak, can't barely jump anymore, needs to take the pack and choke. Jumped in by Azul's Poison from the other side, double bump in, didn't find any good damage. Poison eventually gets one on the Caro, trades that one out by Detoad's pipes. Both him and Azul's go down so quickly off of little any effect here with a single kill, and with DQZ in the backline still, there's in a lot of trouble getting out of here. Adgar getting a kill, but not the one he wanted. He wants some more. He wants the medic. Demos wants none of that, just forces his own Uber out. Detoad kind of caught with that, a little bit too ambitious, hoping they wouldn't have yet. However, clearly not enough on the field for Ora to actually get onto Jorge, so sure they're 2 down after this. Facing really aggressively, but they did get the force as soon as in deep. Tries to get the force that will hit the rockets. That connected, I think, at the end as well, so that is much mandatory force by Jorge. They have to pull out. Counter chase, not really able to catch much either, so as much as they nicely played around to get the force onto Demos in the first place, getting force immediately back must hurt quite a bit. Still, they have mid for now. It is this ad for them, but if you have one single good play, immediately you can redeem yourself here and force them on entry. Maybe drop if you're lucky. Make up for it quickly, and at very least, it's close enough to where wasting time on entry for Ora could be good, but no, Ora isn't wasting time at all. They just pop through, Eames getting Cabo immediately. Needs some backup though, because Adgar has his number damage, but doesn't find the kill. Poison, the only casualty here for Ora. Azun is already on the flank behind, or so he hopes to at least. Didn't really accomplish that too well though. Gets spotted early. However, the rest of the team is in. Yeehaw just feeding through. Gets the force straight away. Will lose his life with Poison down and Azun's behind. There's not much in the front lines, and they still want to close. Azun gets Rojo, so pops by into big door in the perfect moment once they wanted to push aggressive here. And I can understand why goonsquad came aggressive, but not paying attention to the Roma clearly was the wrong move as well. Rojo down. Demos with big advantage now. As long as they can carry this into last, this is going to be sketchy for goonsquad. Oh, keeping control of the game fairly nicely so far. Paro, Adgar, Angie. Poison going down here. Nakari in deep wants some more. Doesn't quite get it. Ready 1 for 1. Can't complain too much. You'll have the slightly more favorable spawn here as the blue soldier. Being on where the fight will be on last. A little bit quicker. Uber comes in right side. Sentry of Pyro on the left. And quite a lot of damage. He takes so much time away. No one could really take space at all. Azunis dies for the point. Gets a lot of time on it, but with Yeehaw trying to sack it as well. They're just down too many numbers. Seems weak as well. Nevo getting taken down on top of that. So little left for Ora here. Surely they must have realized earlier this is going badly, but they kept committing for stuff. 3 down right now, not looking too pretty. Free space for the taking, as well as some more space possible to be taken here by goonsquad. Arguably for some more work here. People are up now. Force is a real threat at this point. But they do have the Uber, so they can pop through for safety measure if they want to, but at that point you really want to catch something. So let's see what the option is. They're going for drop down. It is Sniper on Nevo, not really getting anything in. Poison the Zoon is going aggressive for that force. Will go down, will find success, but 2 down hurts quite a bit. He actually wants some more as well. They know Demos is close to having Uber, so getting him now means quite a bit. Nakari coming in from the flank side as well. Not really getting anything out of that though. Demos at this point has no one down. Force came early. So getting anything good on entry here is a lot harder now, but not impossible. DQC hiding up top gets so much damage. Lack of awareness for Demos and his team showing through. Getting forced early. However, catching 3 people total there, including Nakari from earlier. That's a lot to have you work your way back from. Detoad getting chased all the way up top, barely staying alive. Carbo there to deny the soldiers a little bit on the chase here and able to connect with his medics, but Ora has taken all the space. Yeehaw sneaking behind, they had no eyes in lobby. Yeehaw does technically get the force, however, if he didn't feed that saw, he could have gotten the kill, so this Uber could be a saving grace, if anything, for goonsquad, and it did save second, arguably. But at the cost of obviously being down 30% afterwards, as soon as all the way behind in the backlane. Somehow got stuck there. People on mid kind of committed, but also kind of not really. Everybody's still aware of the Zunis behind, so they don't really have everybody on mid. Takes so long for the rest of the team to arrive. Or takes a little bit of space. DQZ just jumps through though, and Yeehaw never not quick enough to catch that one. Big bomb coming out. Now just the feed trying to catch Roche here, somehow gunning forward, getting the demo, getting Nakari, but not the kill they need. Atke and Roche just slowly falling back here. I have no idea how Carbo got caught on mid here, but he's trying. I don't know if I want to say I appreciate that, because it was clearly the wrong thing to do. Taking a fight with the entirety of Aura, but hey. Maybe you walk into the medic. Granted, they have huge ads, so they don't need a med pick right now. Aura trying to enter free choke, taking so much damage. DQZ again! No one watching Big Door. Getting through completely uncontested all the way to the medic. And again, they didn't technically need a med kill here. Bare minimum, they just needed to delay them walking back through choke. Have the combo come in and destroy them with their own. But now they have a chance to take this without using. It's tough for now as there's lots of spam. Getting people weak, Nakari falling all the way weak and eventually also falling into drop down. Just taking a different approach angle here. But as much time as this is taking right now, and as much as Nevo and Sniper in Big Door is not at all making this more comfortable for them, as evidenced here. They did take this one for free. Onto mid at the very least, want to take some more space onto second. TKZ going down here, Nakari being down obviously for snipe. Forehand hurts so much though, they have so much damage lacking right now. Roche and Kora getting gunned down in lobby, didn't see where everything went, chasing desperately down the demo, but the demo was not where the rest of the combo was. And the rotation just comes through into lobby, getting everything of this desperate chase there. Or just wanting things too badly here. With 20 minutes left, Aura arguably a little bit less convincingly so as they were in the later parts of Grand. Still in the lead though. They're regaining map control quickly when they lose it. They arguably lose it a lot more right now than they did on Grandau. A lot of like messy things get through, especially DQZ. Constantly finding demos, some more map protection, some more flank awareness needs to be there, if anything. Not get them into these bad positions anymore, but like I said, they find their way back into the front lines eventually, every single time, and have another shot at last. Getting people stuck in spawn helps quite a bit. Carbo not having any of that does still get denied. Heavy comes out late by Attica. DQZ jumping back from the flank side. Eventually Yeehaw gets over the heavy with some help. Detoad on the point. The only hope they have, as much as Roche getting the force here, does make things better. As long as Detoad Demos gets out of here, it's fine. But for the moment, the damage is there for the rest of goonsquad. Or just not leaving anywhere in time. Poison on the point. Eventually pops out from behind. It is too little too late. And that one saw again means so much for goonsquad. If that didn't happen, they wouldn't have had Uber. And I think that was Yeehaw again, actually, feeding that saw as well. But just going just a bit too close for the medics twice now. This team has to pay a hefty price for that full wipe, pretty much. Last push statistic, not looking too hot right now. They had a lot more opportunities and they were able to capitalize off of. By all means, could have been a much better scoreline for them at this point with how many chances they had. But if you can't capitalize, it means so little. The question is if Roche and Co can capitalize. They had not much of a presence in the last just yet. Struggled a bit more with even getting to second consistently. Have a slight ad here, they want to make use of it. People busting through Big Door, not enough denial with people not having the Uber yet to be brave to do that, so eventually they're falling back, even if they had Uber while falling back. Obviously too late at that point as the Uber comes in deep, Carbo leading. Ammo in detail as well with that. Demos has though, so the force comes out eventually. Question is if they get anything chased down here. Ora realizing in time though that this is trying to chase too deep. Yeehaw, maybe not so lucky. Back down on the flank, Poison gets a counter frag. Another point will go down though. People in River still causing so much of a problem, and everybody just wants to keep approaching on goonsquad. He goes down, but it is a massive fight on last. They're down a lot, but people are weak, especially Never on 8 HP, and Eames and Demos fall back, but into spawn and out point. And one small little pick onto Yeehaw on the flank gets worked off quite nicely. They had a lot of presence on the flank and under the point. Keep people busy. And Ora never returned to a standard holder. They kept having to deal with things, and that opened up people coming for free into last, undenied, without any like gun or off classes at all. Stopped that from being the case. So goonsquad nicely capitalizing off of a massive fight there. Behind again, causing Eames a lot of trouble, goes weak, but Poison the first one to get a kill here. Zunis with similar ideas, unlucky though, Detoad weak. Not going down, Poison alone with his jump now. Carbo spots that one way ahead of time. Going down, Yeehaw as well picked up somewhere along the lines, but Kari trying to make space, does just that, does not go down, which I think is probably more important here than getting any kills right now. As long as obviously he forced people back. Detoad behind, trying to play well ahead of Ora's movement here, and it worked just fine. They're getting stuck in second, Demos and Eames. Tough position, and they're so far from having Uber. Jorge getting forced here with the scout sneaking up on them. Never gets that, but at the price of this medic and the demo. Jorge somehow doesn't have Uber for long enough though to keep alive there. Never didn't get spotted there. They, understandably so, wanted the medic. But completely neglecting Never will get Jorge killed. They have some kills to work with into last. There is some momentum. They need to get past the heavy into Zunis only as the spawns are trickling in, but really, really slowly. Nice shots that are coming in as well. Denied, and suddenly, in a matter of a minute, goonsquad's up in the lead against Ora Elektro. Really strong last few minutes here. See if we have a pause here in the demo. Let me actually pull up the thing. Okay, now that. There we go. There's a pause. And at this point, you'd imagine Ora's just talking about what went wrong here. Because they had so much more map control. They had, I want to say 4 tries into last. Could be wrong on that one, but it definitely was much more than goonsquad had at this point, and still there in the lead. All this map control for the first 10 minutes or so suddenly means little if they can't come back from this into last anymore. However, they have the strong showing overall on this map despite the scoreline and on Grand, so they have what it takes to come back from this. They just need some stronger answers, starting on the mid fights. Trying to take a lot of space downside, DKZ getting gunned down early, Poison going weak for that one though. And that alone, surprisingly enough, is enough for goonsquad to fall back already. Not taking any chances, it seems. Fair enough, they have a lead, they can manage the scoreline if they feel like it. But for that to be the case, they need to manage the stalemate here successfully first, and Ora doesn't want to let that one become one in the first place. As soon as trying to get behind, gets taken down early by Nakari. Can't really take too much of any presence here. Nakari falling all the way back to spawn to heal up, that's uncommon, but fair enough. Won't take any chances now. Now it's goonsquad. Forward, trying to take some presence into big door, rotating away, deciding against it, not taking too many chances here. And again, if you fall back off of mid this early, I'd be surprised to see them now be the initiators in the stalemate. Which puts us in the much more interesting position we hadn't have much before, which is Ora being forced to approach in a position where goonsquad can hold back safely a lot more than before. Still playing aggressive here, Ora to distract for Zunis, not quite going through though. Jorge only takes a little bit of damage. Spotted the bomb well ahead of time. Now it's Akari on the playmaker, so they still try to do stuff here. Poison going down, not what he was hoping to see, but it doesn't matter. Almost gets to demos regardless of that. Lots of damage, lots of space being able to be taken here, and with Adgar getting Heho, Numbers are running thing. DKZ again from Victor in the backlines, gets a lot of damage onto demos, didn't see the second rocket coming at all. 3 times the charm here. Actually, that was assumed he failed 2 times before, but he was successful 2 times before with his jumps with the demos. DQZ just having Demos' number, getting him time and time again. And that bit of flank awareness is just lacking in these slightly more messy situations that so far are just hugely to goonsquad's favor, be it on last or in the even situation on mid. Now it rewards them with a huge add into last. While they were stalemating, well, managing their stalemate and the scoreline much at the beginning of the round here. They don't need to anymore. They can try to capitalize off of this if they have a good last push. Pyro causing a little bit of trouble, but they get the gun, they get poison. Soldier, demo under point is troublesome, and the heavy and spawn is causing a lot of work to be done here as well. But Eames and Azun is so slow to react to the point play. Eames did not have sticks ready in the front of the point, and Azun was clearly too late to arrive to the party there. And these slight mistakes are just severely punished with no combo to really fight back. Ora Elektro is just having these small mistakes means so much all of a sudden. Goonsquad capitalizing off of slightly better fights so much. 3-1 up, 2 up in total here. As soon as Poison looking for an opportunity. DQZ just with a much more heads-on approach. Jumping straight in. Doesn't get much off of it, just some damage. Poison, as soon as trying the same. Getting a lot more of it since the scouts do follow up on it. 3 total of these bombs there. Ito still weak, misses the arrow there. Fortunately as well. Will go down. That's a demo pick really, really late as well. Could matter. So far no scouts on the field either, but Rojo far back, hard to approach. They're trying anyway. Poison in deep. Falls back into spawn. Are you getting Yeehaw there? Poison really weak as well. Needs to fall back into safety. Does manage to do just that. Good mid. Strong answer by Ora. Of a slippery slope of the last few minutes here. They're still by all means in this. Atka and Carbo, both scouts picking up the off classes for the stalemate, and while they only a little bit managed the stalemate before, right now they can, and given that it's last, probably should a lot more so, take their chances wisely once they decide to get out of last here, if it ever comes to that. By no means need to take much of a risk at all here on goonsquad, so it's all onto Ora right now, never trying to play point. It's denied quite early, don't want to deal with the pressure onto the point. Still is distraction technically speaking, but obviously much less so on the sea. Are not being led onto the point as the scout here. So we'll see what they can do. If that point denial is still the case later on. You see, not even wanting to let anything under. That might be the wrong choice though. Using the fight, he actually had Azun as well as backup there as well. Lots of sticks as well. That's not enough. Never healed up. Azun is on the point. Is that enough though by itself? No, it does put people out of position though. Detroit really weak. Heavy NG committing forward, and Yeehaw winning the fight against Nakari. Still more point time. Never just walking up there. Gets even more. That is what you want to see on Kalilas. Just a lot of things in quick succession to make a lot of pressure. Eames takes so much damage early. Clearly not ready for that one. DQZ crater, but Carbo cleans up 1 for that. Still people down. 3 in total. Well, 1 is respawning just now, but Carbo all alone. They just take the easy pick on Ora. Question if that's enough. Roch is super weak. Walks up in front of the scout. Easiest pick of Yeehaw's life, and with 2 left on the point. Really easy to coordinate damage. Ora looking a lot more coordinated on last right now, both in terms of actually making a play to get advantage, as well as playing off of it just nice and slowly once they had player advantage position post-Uber. Once they had these kills to work off, just played it nice and slowly, took whatever was most readily approachable, be it one player behind, be it the medic right in front of them, to then force people to block the point and die trying. Well played by Ora. 3-2, still in this, 8 minutes left, plenty time. They have another strong mid, that is. DQZ again looking for an opportunity to jump up quickly. Poison going down early though hurts quite a bit, and with Azun is weak and all alone to approach at all. Not looking good. DQZ with a heads up decision to go for the soldier there. And without any playmakers left on mid fight, Ora has to abandon quickly. Not what you're looking for if you're down already. Yeah, we're getting chased down as well. goonsquad just keeps taking space here aggressively. Numbers not looking good to approach at all on second, where goonsquad quite similarly before. Demos kind of caught there, and goonsquad realizes they put on more pressure, they want to force out of Demos. They will get just that. EC will go down for it, and eventually Jorge has to use more or less. They will have to reply, but it is a slightly better whip. Not enough to get much of just Carbo barely not getting caught there, but Poison dying makes up for that on their part. 1 down each. Goonsquad not quite getting the force they wanted to. They took their chances there. And it arguably paid off in that it keeps the situation as is. There's not much Ora can play off right now. So they didn't lose anything off of this, which is the least you would hope when you take any sort of risk. Sort of any situation, really. So 3-2 stays intact, 7 minutes, and being stuck on your own last. Tough pill to swallow for Ora, but they have to do it, or else they are not going to get out of this. Need to find a way to break the stalemate. That goonsquad surely can be more than happy to just manage right now and keep having intact for the time being. Obviously, we also approach a time around where game timer much higher than round timer, so there won't be any mid resets anymore at this point in the match. So that is also similarly not an option. However, winning singular 1v1s or 2v1s at least in that case helps quite a bit. Never on poison him, sorry. A little bit too ambitious of it, just walking in immediately. Cabo still well in lobby there. Clean up weaker players. So what started out looking like a nice opportunity, immediately wasted unfortunately for Ora. 6 minutes left, and goonsquad has to do so little here. They had what otherwise would be an alright opportunity. Sure, they were still waiting for respawns, but technically it's played to act off there, but they're not taking chances. They don't need to. And it's Aura forced to make the moves here. Atka with the safe off-class detour catching as soon as as well on the sack attempt. 1 down each straight away. Never picking up the sniper rifle for last. Obviously, right now you actually have to be the one making the play, so can't just rely on people approaching your sideline. So space is being taken in river, quite successfully so, with poison as well backing him up quite well. Big headshot onto DQZ, not quite getting the kill, but forcing him to fall back at least. Never taking his chances, but not quite hitting the shots he needs to at least. Onto the targets that need to be weak. So they're taking top control, but is that worth it in the end? Never rotating back, poison. Still his bodyguard. Still really busy there. Atka goes fairly weak for that matter. They're just not getting what they're looking for. The best opportunity he never had at all was the one position where he had to peek onto the demo, and that didn't last for too long. He missed a shot and it never came back. Medic never showed himself, and at that point Sniper would have to like either go even more aggressive or just abandon case, and they did eventually abandon. However, we have a second off class here if the frontline approach doesn't work. Drive from behind. Is picking up the spy, disguising enemy something. Ooh, bad timing though. Everybody's aware he's here now. Eventually gets caught. Unfortunate, and it's a single pick as well. Sure, goonsquad don't need to do much here. They could just figure why would be sack of this, but with 1 down right now, it's as good as an option you can go for to make it even worse for Ora. And at least mildly try to get a 4-2 on the board. Make this comeback even more daunting for Ora to accomplish. However, with DQZ going down in the midst of this, it's back to Ora player ad. Meaning a whole lot by itself, and with everybody staying much closer than they would hope for. Demo gets caught by surprise. Utterly gunned down. Demo's really falling weak as well on the way out, but just does not get forced. Still remaining close, and Ora needs some answer to get out of this, because so far it's looking dire. At this point, just giving up a round once there was still 6 minutes left almost looks like a better option, but that is hindsight speaking. As soon as gets a pick onto Nakari, helps quite a bit. Pressure up top though. Range coming out on both sides. Looking too good for goonsquad though. They're losing position so quickly. Ora is just able to walk in on them. Demos goes down. That hurts quite a bit. Scout too busy shooting the scout on his medic there. Busy fighting all over the place. Got the last one alive. Technically a full wipe at the cost of the medic though. goonsquad giving him too easy of a time to bust through the hold here. Not strong enough on second. Little bit keen to just keep space for free. Nakari still wasting time though, and that is technically all they need. For the moment, off of the weak players, off of the medic kill, that means so much. There's no healing at all for the time being until now. Which makes keeping second so much harder once the spawns come in for goonsquad. And what looked like a really nice chance was completely negated by Demos going down here. One scout just slipped through. And with 2 minutes left, they can't not press W at this point. Ora needs to be approaching. Making plays here. DQZ being down helps a little. Never gets through somehow. I didn't even see that coming, but just somehow randomly popped up behind them. Still getting kills. Gets up Carbo, picks up Carbo, cleans up or helps clean up D-Toad as well. And a single scout behind suddenly opened up everything for Ora. So little time left, but they have this full anti right. DQZ hiding again, gets the force yet again. Every single time he goes for Davos, it is successful. This huge ad needed to be the win condition, and it's just slowly falling apart. At least in the sense that they have now an even worse damage to deal with only a minute and a half left. Sure, Gully leaves you options, but does require some time usually. Or almost even. It's like this ad, but not by any means enough to expect goonsquad to move out of last year. And in all fairness sake, it is a golden cap for sure at this point. goonsquad will have gotten points out, but the question is how much. If Ora can at all respond out of the stalemate here. They're trying. Scout under point, putting up some pressure. Gun up though, with heavy as well. A lot to deal with. As soon as jumping through or trying to at least, not quite getting what he's looking for. Trades one off DQZ technically, but that's more Nevo trading that one. So 2 down for 1. Not looking too hot right now. They didn't have Uber quite yet. Getting the force here would have been perfectly timed actually. To waste as little time possible. Your own ad, but not quite going through. Traction lasting long enough. With the gun being up still as well, and with this little time left, you have so little time to spam down the gun and then have a good play afterwards. So they just bust through. They don't care, and they can't really. Changing straight through Shutter. Gun is still up. goonsquad just chasing a little bit slow. Not really getting much out of it though. Nakari not hitting shots onto Eames. Eames, however, getting caught between the gun and Nakari and D-Toad. That's the demo down. That hurts so much with 15 seconds left. That's got on the point. Neville can't really do much from there with people still super aware. They just need to block the point for a few seconds here, and with the demo lacking, they're lacking a lot of damage on the point. Matka even gives up his gun for crits, and that might just be final nail in the coffin. goonsquad taking it 3-2 over Ora. Ora had the stronger moment at the beginning of the game, but they were able to do so little with it. The last conversion statistic is, I think, really telling where things went wrong. Shame we don't have those anymore. They had so many more opportunities than goonsquad did. goonsquad was just so much more efficient into last once they had anything going. They didn't stalemate as much into last as well, I want to say. But the one at the end, but at that point they didn't need to do anything anymore. They just had better positions out of seconds to immediately transition into last nicely. They were able to play off the momentum well. Or barely ever got into that position. It was hard fought for out of stalemate's last pushes. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of effort, and really too much to do them quite as consistently as hoped for, so Ora couldn't quite pick up this early on, and it mattered late where they had a lot of mistakes happening quickly to get into this deficit in the first place. goonsquad just very insistent on getting onto demos, and that just happened way too easily. That was a big, big mistake for Ora. Game where DQZ just picked them up like 3 times in a row. Really quickly, plus the force at the end here that completely negated an Uber advantage push into last. That by all means could have still made this game tie up to a golden cap. So well-deserved win by goonsquad here in the end. Stop the logs really quickly. Not gonna waste time on that either. There we go. 3-2 close game by all means, but goonsquad just a little bit more efficient on advantages at the end of the day. And a lot better off of making something happen when they were on this ad, which saved them from a lot of trouble. Never with good kills, obviously. All scouts doing fairly well here. Visibly so at a decent time. Damage-wise, poison, and then most of the rest of goonsquad's combo. Actually, well, DQZ isn't. DQZ is a roamer, but DQZ had way too much fun on this map. More than he ever should have been able to. That's a big, big difference maker. Azunas obviously still had some plays, but not as much. Not as uncontested. Had much less freedom here. Taking the carry. Poison. Actually, the demo's super low on damage taken. That is interesting. That is strange, actually. A lot of it probably comes down to somewhat stalemate, like, the part of the game. I guess. Where the demo's usually just hanging back a lot more and still gets heals anyway. Maybe. I don't know if that's all to attribute to that, because that's still quite a big gap here. That's just kind of weird. Anything else interesting? Last map, Carbo tanked a lot this time, still the case. Yeehaw. I think even less than last time. So just not receiving as much. Ora as well. Surprising there, I think. All the same, we've seen heal twice on the last map, showing off here, except that demos somehow took much less damage than before. Almost exactly average time to build, not surprising. And before using only a second apart as well. Average Überlang, a little bit better for Roche. But it clearly didn't mean as much. Depth after charge is so much worse. That's surprising, actually. But I guess that just happens when you're approaching a lot, especially at the beginning. Later on, not so much. They didn't need to. It didn't feel like that, but I also probably only doesn't feel like that just because Demos had a much tougher time this game. And I don't entirely want to put that on him, much as on the rest of the team surrounding him, either watching bombs come in early or just denying them doing anything in the first place early on entry. So that's where a lot of his deaths came from, which I didn't look at that, but I feel like it was much worse than last time. Actually, it really wasn't. 6 to 7 is like really close and still one less for Demos. But it felt much worse for Demos somehow. On that note, half of Roche's deaths came after exchanges. Or after pushes. Probably more so exchanges though. Which is not a good look. They made it work more or less in most positions. Somehow only though. That's something that needs to be worked on, I think. Keep him safe post-Uber. Because if most of your deaths are post-Uber, then imagine if that doesn't happen in the first place. And you suddenly keep having advantage positions, or at least, like, remain in even afterwards. Majors matches lost 1. That was probably at the end of the game now. When it really didn't matter for them to push anymore. They still almost lost round. But either way, that was probably a pretty meaningless one. Yeah, the 4 deaths after charges is... especially for higher Uber length, which in theory gives you more time to work with on Uber to decide what to do. Not a huge amount, but it's like almost half a second. Enough to make an educated decision. By the way, they came out on top, closely so, but they did it anyway. Over Aura, which is by all means an upset. goonsquad already established themselves as not the worst Prem team in history, which I think they said was what they were hoping to do. Not go out of the season without any points. So they did that already. It's only week 1, so it's only, depending on how you look at it, downhill or uphill from here. Can only get even better. Or they could get nothing on the board anymore. Or probably not see this as one of the highest seeds in the season, I would say. By no means something to underestimate, technically speaking. However, clearly still have some work to do here. Bomb awareness, flank awareness, do not let get things through, which meant so much this game. So many necessary forces slash drops or demos. I think there was only one for him, but that was like a really tough one because they were in a really busy fight and just one person in Big Dog could have stopped that completely. Really unfortunate to watch. Can't really fault him dropping that too much though, because he had no idea where the damage was coming from. Granted, at that point you might just panic pop, so never mind. Either way, getting sidetracked here. That is enough about this game, I think. This late enough. And I think I'm gonna stop here. As a game at 21, I'm not sure if I want to cast this off. There's anything else I will do. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how I feel. If it is happening, obviously it will be on this channel. Hence, Nations Cup Highlander games. If you care about that, then yeah, I think Kritzcast is covering them. I'm not sure. Ask WeTooth, don't ask me. I don't really care. I don't even know who's playing. I just know games are happening. Go away. That's enough for me for now. Maybe I'll be back later. We'll see. Go away. See ya.